welcome, Deathclam Games. We're going to be talking today about world building in RpgMaker MV, and it's going to be specifically about our RPG Night at Cloudy Bay. A Night at Cloudy Bay, sorry about that. So there we go. That's what we're going to do today. And before we do that, we're going to test our sound and stuff, which we do. This is the beauty of having this be a stream. You know, it's amazing in that way. All right, let's put up chat. Would you like? Hey, hi, Loren. I see your comment there. Welcome. That's good to know. There we go. All right, I'm all set up here. If it sounds good, Loren's going to join me too. You know, one of these days, Mike, a teeny bit closer if you can. Yeah, I will. All right. Let's do this. Let's put this back here and do that. How about that? Does that sound good? Hello. Yeah. All right, I think that sounds good. I don't know. You tell me if it's okay or if I need to increase the volume level of it or something.
Yeah, that's way better. It just sounds like you're next to it instead of across the room from it.
Yeah, okay. This microphone's like that, where it's kind of like, it's a really nice vocal microphone. But I think it's meant to be like, I'm just not going to go any further with that. All right. This sounds good. So world building in Cloudy Bay. Just to explain what I mean by that, I guess, is we have created a setting for our RPG, A Night in Cloudy Bay. And the place is Cloudy Bay, right?
Yeah, I'll be right there. I'm just putting on some music.
Yeah, no worries. I'm just talking about this. So initially with Cloudy Bay, I just threw together some maps without really thinking about it. Because this whole game, the Cloudy Bay game, is sort of a tutorial game for us. Just in that I haven't used RpgMaker. I mean, I've made games before. I've made many, many games before. But I have not used RpgMaker MV. So I'm learning a lot about it. A lot about what the engine's capable of and what it isn't. So when I initially... Oh, go sit down.
I think we got everything. Do you need anything?
No, I'm good. I think we're ready to go.
One other thing. Oh, my God.
One more thing. So when I first built the map, I just threw it together randomly. And now we're starting to... As the game goes along, we're starting to come up against the fact that that's really not good enough. In order to have a really good RPG that, brings out... that people want to play and might bring emotions and stuff like that. I feel like we need to delve into the setting a little bit.
Right.
There we go.
Okay. I think we got it.
Yeah, no problem. And I realized, that the maps I have already for RpgMaker, and here's where I guess at some point, when we're streaming, maybe I'll even get to a point where we can switch to the maps and stuff and show people what we're talking about.
Yeah, well, true.
For now, I'm just going to say that it doesn't look like a fishing village.
I think maybe that's the problem, is it started to look like a fishing village, and now we know it's not going to be a fishing village.
Right, that's a good point too. And even if it was a fishing village, it didn't really look like it. Just sort of had how should I say it? We've been watching this artist who tells, what was that guy? It was like How to Paint Like a God. This guy's video. I can't remember his name. It was called How to Paint Like a God if you want to see it. And one of the most important things he says is that you want to have references for your work. You don't really know what a tree looks like. You need to look at a bunch of trees, right? In the same way for our setting for Cloudy Bay, for RpgMaker, we live in a town by the water and everything, but we don't really live in a village.
No, we live in a port community though, right. So we do have fishing and crabbing and
there's a little bit of references.
Environment. There's references around us, but we started watching that Oregon Life guy though too.
I guess I should say this, is that we did decide that we wanted we hadn't even decided, it was just this sort of random fishing village, whatever, right? But then we've decided, we want to make this a place where people make their living off of, crabbing.
Right. I think the fishing, it was too many boats.
Right.
And I thought we wanted to reduce the number of boats so it felt tinier and smaller, so crabbing seemed to make more sense there.
So yeah, exactly. So that was the sort of beginning of our consolidating the theme.
But we don't know anything. We don't know a damn thing about crabbing.
Right.
Honestly, other than that, I know people use crab pots, and And I've done it in Stardew Valley.
So what we did was we've been watching, and we did settle on this guy because he's really good at it. It's called Oregon Life, and this guy goes around. Hey, Samos, welcome, man.
Hi, Samos. How are you?
We're talking about our Cloudy Bay. We've been watching these videos about crabbing because we didn't know anything about it. And it has been really informative and already has made some changes.
It's changed the look of our game already.
Right.
Just to watch a couple of crabbing videos. And who knew?
Because I didn't realize like the nuts, like how you actually did it. So this guy's shown us a couple videos, one from the dock, one from his boat at night.
The different weather.
Right.
Oh, still Mike a little closer.
Mike needs to be a little closer. Let me look at the volume level on it here just a second. Thanks for saying something, man. Oh, it's already at the top. So we just have to be a little closer to the mic. All right, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Are you just mirroring my messages from earlier?
Oh. We just got trolled.
I think we might
Samuel's
have been
trolled us.
trolled.
Damn it. Well played, sir. I was like, let's move the mic even closer. And then he'd be like, he'd probably keep repeating it. If we didn't say anything, he'd be like, no, you need it a little closer. I'd be like, okay, is this good enough? And he's like, no, you actually have to put it in your mouth. Right, Loren?
I'm not going to do that.
No.
Okay, sorry. That's wrong.
No. Anyway, so I guess the biggest part so far for us is not, I haven't built a lot of worlds, so to speak. I haven't done a lot of world building.
No, because all of your games, I think, have been more abstract.
Yeah, they have been more abstract.
You
Although
made an
we've always had a
RPG?
strong theme. When we made Soul Last Days of a Star, we started with a very strong theme.
Right.
Like there was a story we wanted to tell. And I think that Night at Cloudy Bay, there was a story we wanted to tell, but there wasn't an actual setting that we had like really thought out.
We've
and that's
actually
very
kind
important.
of started out this story in a few different versions.
Right.
A number of times. Like it kind of existed as a choose your own adventure.
Yes.
It kind of
We were going to make interactive fiction.
It's a short story. It existed as a different game. And now those different things are kind of coming together to just be Night in Cloudy Bay.
Right, because when I got RpgMaker MV for the like Steam Winter Sale, and I just started playing with it, and I realized right away that the Night at Cloudy Bay story would be a good medium to tell that kind of story.
Right.
Although,
it's perfect for it because you experience the world a little bit, you experience story a little bit. There's no combat right now. I mean, there might be.
Samos asked if there's a way to play it yet. And no, we do not have it
very close.
Close. I think it's going to take me another week. Maybe.
There's a couple things we have to do.
Yeah, there's a couple like puzzles I have to solve before I fix some of the most like basic problems. And one of them is making sure that there's an indication that there's something in a square, like a little gleam of a coin or whatever.
Right now, you don't know if you found all the coins. So the big thing is you don't know how many coins you have.
Which I'm going to fix. I can fix that.
Yeah.
I want to display it on the screen. You can find it out by going to inventory, but I don't think that's something anybody wants to do.
There's no sort of tutorial whatsoever to tell you like how to move or anything.
So I need to have just a basic like controls tutorial, at least something that says like, would you like to go on the tutorial?
We have a marker that moves across the top. It shows the passage of time, but it really needs a bar so you have some concept of what percentage of time you've filled.
Right. And maybe it won't even go all the way across the top.
Right. But that's the main mechanic is time. It's like a race against time thing.
So yeah, I'm excited to get it to a playable state. I know Mystic said he was interested in streaming it as a playtest, which is something I'm really interested in. Lorenz playtested it 3 times, and each time we found something crazy.
Yes.
That we had to fix.
Do you get $1?
Oh, for playtesting?
No, but you get
You do get
the final game.
You get to be involved in, the creation of the game.
Exactly, and betas and things going forward.
And we'll probably just give you a copy of it. I mean,
Sean, if we didn't give Samos a copy of it, we'd be bad.
We would be bad, yeah. I know. We'll be like, now buy the game, Samos. After all your help, buy it. We're not quite like that.
No, but you don't get $1 for playtesting.
But yeah, also we're not good enough.
Pay for
Since we're not capitalist the one way, we're also like we fail the other way too. We can't pay you either. Yeah. We're not good capitalists.
If we got money to make a bigger game, we'd probably hire people for parts and things.
I think at some point I could see to make a larger game, it is more like you have to be a director.
I could see hiring somebody to do audio.
Yeah. Someone to do the art. I think there'd be a
hiring
whole.
Someone to do art.
That's like a whole job in and of itself is the art on a game, and I'm seeing that now. It's like that's why I'm just using the default assets. I think until we get somebody else that wants to do art, I'm going to use default assets on RpgMaker because I'm just not. If I want to make the game, I have to concentrate on that. That's what I like about having this system set up. It's already got all the art. It's got animations. I have to, mess around with them.
Right.
And sometimes maybe doing more complex stuff means more work in a weird way. Sometimes, depending on what you're doing. So,
how is that in a weird way?
I guess it's not weird, is it? It's just normal.
That's normal. More complex stuff means more work frequently. That's not weird.
Sam says he was joking
Totally
about the dollar. Unless we were going to give it to him. I mean, unless you're serious.
I mean,
I think it's worth asking.
Do you take Bitcoin? I think we're going to switch to Bitcoin now.
Dogecoin.
I'm done with...
Anyway.
I'm not done with US dollars. I'll take them, please. I love them.
But we're talking about Cloudy Bay. Remember?
Right. Oh, yeah, Cloudy Bay.
But anyway, so one of the things we did was find a reference. We've been watching these videos like the ins and outs of actually crabbing, which I didn't honestly realize involved a lot of chicken.
Lots of chicken.
Like bait for crabs.
Tons of chicken.
Is chicken. So I'm also
Crabs
thinking,
like chicken.
That's going to inform what our
market?
town looks like. We're
Right.
going to have obviously chickens for sale, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then
Mystic can be the sound guy. And you can stand on a street corner with a trench coat
that's
asking
good
people
marketing.
if they want some Cloudy Bay.
You guys hear about Cloudy Bay?
Yeah. I got some right over here.
Come in the alley with me. I got something to show you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, Samuels, that seems good.
Yeah.
We'll go over that, maybe the marketing campaign a little more. What?
And whether or not you're associated with us in any way.
Yeah, right. But yeah, we'll work that part out.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mystic though actually I think is good with sound stuff.
Yes, I think he's good with sound stuff, and I think he's also expressed interest in doing that.
So who knows? At least I think it'd be great him helping us to play test it. I think that'd be great to see it streamed. Is super helpful.
Going to be the easiest.
It's hard to get playtesters.
No, for the playtester themselves.
Oh yeah.
Like if you want to participate in the game, playtesting it is like the easiest, most fun way to do that.
And here's the deal: when you playtest the game, you get to it's your suggestions. It's like what you want out of a game gets put into the game.
It makes the game better for you.
Yeah, it's like I would rather this or this or this, and then I start thinking about.
Not that we do every. You're not
that's a good
put
point.
In everything.
Just because somebody makes a suggestion doesn't mean I put it in the game. But here's the deal. Here's how it works. Is it if 3 or 4 people have said the same thing, then it's time to start taking a look,
Yeah.
Or even if somebody says something that just strikes me as oh yeah, that happens too. It doesn't have to be that I have to hear it from multiple sources.
Well, we were watching the Sid Meier's thing.
Yeah.
And it was his GDC speech.
Right.
Talk. Chat.
Sid Meier's, what was the title of it? Do you remember?
Gosh, it was some awful boring title.
It was a good talk though. We haven't finished it. It's an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's a long talk.
But the first third of it was amazing.
He was talking about playtesting, and what was happening in Civ Rev is the odds were it would always show the odds 3 to 0.5 or something, and people would get upset when they would lose sometimes.
Right. They were like, my odds were too good. Why did I lose? So
just through playtesting, he found he had to
change the way
odds worked and displayed.
Which is really interesting to hear about that process.
Yeah. So we should put that video on Discord. I always say this.
Maybe the videos really we talk about, we'll start putting on Discord a little more. Because we do talk about like videos we've watched that gave us ideas.
Knows his shit.
I will say that Sid Meier's is a good
speaks well about it.
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess he would at this time.
Practiced.
And so I guess that's the part too, because I want to be clear that I am trying to make this game to sell it as a game. We're trying to make money on the game, right?
Well, yes, Absolutely.
Eventually.
But not the first iteration of it.
Yeah, not this one. Not Cloudy Bay. I think Cloudy Bay is a test game.
It'll be Cloudy Bay 2.
This one's not specifically to make, any kind of money or whatever. But just so we're clear, even though we're like artists, and I feel like if we didn't have to, I wouldn't care about money. If I didn't have to care about money, I would literally not care about it. Oh. But the fact that we do means I have to figure out.
I don't care about money, but
we do. I do because I have to have it to
having
live.
A place to live, and I care about, my creature comforts.
Right.
So.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is
I care indirectly about money.
I find it's a sad thing that I have to reconcile that we have to worry about money with the games. I would in an ideal world, I wish we didn't have to.
Right.
But that is part of the game design process. And that's also something that, like, it would be nice if someone else who knew what they were doing could take care of that. You say, actually, this is a good point. Samus is like, what if you release a game and it gets as big as Fortnite? Well, first of all, Cloudy Bay's not even designed to. It wouldn't be able to.
It can't.
It wouldn't be able to.
First of all.
But this just for fun thought about it, the fact is we don't know what we're doing with, business and stuff. So we would probably just fail.
Yeah. I would go to a lawyer. The very first thing that happened is I would go to the lawyer and be like, how do I just protect myself here?
Yeah, right.
Because
like, what do I even do?
I know how this shit goes, and it doesn't always go pretty. I just want...
Yeah. So, yeah, that would be actually a bad thing for us. If Night at Cloudy Bay became as big as Fortnite, we would...
I mean, look what happened to the people with, like, Fall Guys.
Yeah, it's not good.
That's rough. I think that puts you in a really tough situation.
The fact is, I do want to make money, but the fact is I want to do it more realistically, and you have to start. I think you need to ramp up a little slower. I think just getting rich quick is not I'm not even trying to get rich. I'm honestly just trying to get where I can survive. That's literally
GoFundMe. We did talk about like a GoFundMe / Kickstarter.
We tried really, Patreon for a while, but
what we're gonna do is we're just making the product and then we're gonna sell the product.
Yeah, I'm don't want to ask people to subscribe to something. It's like, do you want this game? Do you want Cloudy Bay?
If we need to, we can probably do a business loan along the way.
Maybe.
If we really felt like we had the product and we were ready to go with it,
But
I don't know that that's necessary.
Back to
right now.
Back to world building though, and the fact that, but coming into what we're talking about here is the fact that Night at Cloudy Bay is designed to learn the system. So I guess in this way, this one's not designed to make money.
This game one, what was the guy's name? P.S. who gave that talk?
It was a really good talk.
It was
another GDC.
It was like
GDC,
games. He was like Australian or something.
Oh no, his series was called Making Games That Make Money.
Making Games That Make Money. He gave a really good talk.
He was like, if you're serious about that aspect of it, then this is what you should do.
And he suggested doing game 1, game 2, and game 3. And game 1, which is what we're on now, he suggested getting out in a month. Well,
it's taken a little longer than a
month.
We're
slow, but we've done other things and we've dicked around a lot.
Well, and I think we've created a lot of like foundation. Yeah. Basically for the next game. I know it seems like maybe it goes slow, but I mean for next game, this is going to be so much easier to put the next game out.
So game 2 is basically game 1, but taking into account everything you learned making it and just kind of like start over from scratch and remake game 1, but with the new things in mind and a little bit different trajectory.
Right. And then game 3 is like supposed to be the game.
Game 3 is
your
the
like
final
dream
product,
game, like the game that you're looking to make. Which we don't actually. Here's the thing: we haven't thought about that,
and we're not supposed to. Right now, we're thinking about game 1,
right?
And our job with game 1 is to get it into the hands of playtesters
and people who are, and we want to get it in front of people who actually would like the game.
People that want to help build the game.
People who like games like that and are looking to be involved in. I mean, I'm sure there's people who are looking to be involved in a project in some way.
For now, if people want to contribute in any way, they can purchase our book on Amazon. That really helps us.
Or donate. We have a donate.
Or donate.
Link,
that totally helps us.
I don't think we're necessarily at that point.
Other than that, that's for this game. What we need is people, playing it.
Right. We need play testers. We need to go through the process of the game creation. Because I mean, I've gone through the process with Soul, but that was a board game, and that was a lot different. And that did have a team. That had somebody taking care of the business aspect of it.
Yeah. Well, that was a bigger production and a longer production.
Right.
And you didn't really follow that game 1, 2, 3 process there.
No, we did not. We just made the big game first.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think probably going back,
it made
a
it
lot of things
a lot harder.
you could have done differently, but that was
Yeah.
at least 4 of you working on it.
Well, more than that in the end, like somebody did the art that I didn't even meet. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. Is like it to put out a game, especially for us. I mean, we're gonna have to figure out how to make it work when we just have this team. You know what I mean? Because really, to put out even an RpgMaker, look at like RFL, which was made. It's a game on Steam that was made. We're playing it right now. It was made with RpgMaker.
Right. And it's kind of showing me what we can do.
Yeah, like the kind of things you can do. And that game has a huge list of people involved. I think it had credits, and it had 10, 11, 12 people working on it. Yeah. Right? I mean, yeah, it's serious stuff.
I'm still getting used to the fact that I have hair.
Yeah, we didn't,
It's a lot of hair. I don't know what to do with it.
Me and Loren during quarantine have just grown hair.
Anyway.
We just do it. Anyway, what was my point here? Anyway, okay. So we're world building. So saying all of that, that's why we're world building Cloudy Bay. At this point, my focus is to get the map looking like an actual village would look if you know.
An actual crabbing village.
Right, and to have the village actually be something. Before it was just this sort of amorphous coastal village. It didn't have any personality or anything, right? What was the reason people were here? Now, if we
have kind of a reason people are there too.
If we make it a crabbing village, also, it's like, why is this? Where is this? Is this on a little island? Is this on a part of a remote coast that people don't really go to? Maybe you don't get very many ferries over here because really, it's just the only reason people come is to pick up crabs. And maybe drop off some chickens or whatever, right?
Dropping off chickens? Well, there must be chicken farms. Yeah. There must be some farms around.
That's a good point. Maybe higher up in the hills or something. There's or people have their own chicken coops and, in their backyards or whatever. Mm-hmm. Because they're all, if you're fishing for crabs.
Maybe all the houses have little chicken coops in the backyard. Yeah. That would make sense.
Right. Well, yeah, I mean,
$1 a hair.
Yeah, feel free. Cool. I mean, if you're packing that kind of cash, I'm down. I'll shave it all up. You can have it.
Yeah. It's all yours. I'll just mail it to you. That's weird, but
I mean, it is weird. We don't care what you do. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. You do what you need to do, buddy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just staple it to your chest.
Yeah. No. Okay. But yeah, so moving on from that.
Oysters, clams, and cockles.
Yeah. What are cockles mussels?
I think cockles are mussels.
Okay. Is that what you guys call mussels? You guys. So, what's wrong with me? What do you think it is? I'm not sure. But yeah, so I mean, I'm sure there's some clams. And here's the thing. We're going to have Deathclam Bay be a place.
Deathclam Bay is the larger world. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And why was it called Deathclam Bay? Well, that's interesting, but who knows? I'm going to be interested to find out why that happened.
But Cloudy Bay is a smaller, little.
I'd say more isolated community.
Isolated community somewhere within the larger.
And so I feel like a lot of these communities,
which is similar to where we live.
It is similar where we live, and I think we're taking a lot from where we do live, and I think that I like the idea of communities maybe that don't. I'm thinking of it sort of an alternate reality here, where maybe there's not as much land travel, and it's more like ferries between communities. I'm thinking of right. Yeah. Or even, just a couple peninsulas or something.
We were thinking that there's islands around us, like Vashon Island, Bainbridge, Fox Island,
Right.
So places like that are tiny little artist communities and fishing villages and stuff.
They've been pretty gentrified, but it used to be, for instance, the Vashon Island was a hippie commune.
When I was a kid, it was a hippie thing.
We went people on grew up there.
Field trip there when I was a kid to see what a hippie commune was.
It's look at the hippies, everybody.
Yeah.
Right, and they're this is their natural habitat as they gather seaweed from the beach.
Now it's Bill Gates' vacation home.
Right. No, it's turned totally different.
Mm-hmm.
You can make people work out why it's called Deathclam Bay. Like NPCs can give clues, but it's a taboo subject. Well, yeah, see, and here's the deal. Deathclam Bay is going to be the next game.
Yeah.
I feel like we're creating Cloudy Bay for the tutorial game. And what we learn from that will probably take to Deathclam Bay.
Yeah.
And you're right. I think in Cloudy Bay too, even for this game, I don't want to just tell everybody what's going on. Yeah, you should have to walk around and talk to people, and then you get a sort of like idea of what it's like to live there, right?
I think the whole thing is to explore this environment.
Yeah.
And find these little stories through it, have kind of emergent gameplay come up through the little, the stories that you find and the people you interact with.
Yeah, I think that's where the emergent gameplay is going to come from, because we've talked a lot about that. Is that what we want? I want that in my game. I want it to be like, not just authorial, so to speak.
I mean, in a sense it is, but it's also like you open up and close off dialogue trees, based on your status and things that you've done before in the game.
Yeah, I like that suggestion, Samuels. I think that's where we're definitely going with it, where it's like, that's almost the entire game, actually. You're right. Like, where you just sort of wander around and like find out about this place. You're trying to be... Bless you.
Sorry.
You're trying to find 5 coins to catch the fairy. That's the game, so to speak, right?
I'm going to do it again.
All right, do it again. But the thing that's going to get people to want to play, we have another video like this called Volition, right? Or Autonomy.
Oh, yeah.
Because we've talked about how do we get people to want to be here. And I think that's going to be part of it, is that...
making them feel like their interaction with the environment
means
has
something.
an actual effect in the game they play.
Right. And that, part of that, like, I've been looking at a lot of videos about emergent gameplay, like systemic gameplay. And part of that, has been that it should feel like when you're not there, this place is still alive and doing something. And I think that's the real challenge with RPGs, because a lot of RPGs have a hard time getting that.
What we found, I think, is that when we build an environment, the characters end up kind of writing themselves.
Yes, right.
Because they're a product of their environment. So if we do a really good job at like making Cloudy Bay a place and a real thing and have its own vibe and personality,
yes,
then the people that live there start to feel a certain way.
And then I think
automatically.
Well, here's the other thing. I don't think we have to be perfect though either, as far as having like everything nailed down, because then as long as I have the idea that this is a crabbing village, this is how people crab
in the middle
of
nowhere,
kind of people, right,
in a stormy, cloudy location.
And then I think people will develop on their own. Like, I'll learn about Cloudy Bay as I make it too, as long as I have that like guiding idea of what it's about.
Right.
So it says, imagine you had your house in your game, and when you go in, you go to the basement and see 2 NPCs talking to a camera, drinking coffee. That would actually be hilarious. That may be that. We should have that in Deathclam Bay.
That would
there
be
should
pretty
be 2
funny.
Streamers.
Yes, that's
we'll
a
just
great
make them.
idea.
We'll just
And
make
like
them a like parody of ourselves. They'll be just total. Never mind.
This is a good idea.
It is a good idea. We can totally make fun of ourselves.
Yeah.
Maybe the guy is barely even verbal. And, and you're sort of sighing all the time or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That might be kind of funny. You could be the guest on the stream.
I think that sounds like fun.
You could be a guest on Deathclam stream. Yeah, that'd be kind of funny. All right, so I'm liking this stuff.
There'd be a creepy lighthouse.
All right, so far I've avoided creepy lighthouses. I feel like lighthouses in games are maybe a little overdone. Maybe everybody likes a lighthouse anyway. Maybe they're...
You don't like a lighthouse, you suck.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. But like everywhere has lighthouse. I even like the Lighthouse movie. But what I'm saying is, do we want a lighthouse?
Day, yeah.
So, but putting a lighthouse in the town is saying something different about a town, I guess is what I'm saying.
Well, it says that it's on a point.
Right.
And this is actually not on a point. It's
a bay.
Nestled. But maybe out at the end there is a lighthouse. We were talking about
possibly, yeah.
Other
I might put a
areas
lighthouse
we
in
could
there
include you know, but it
What
would
do you
be
think?
outside of
Actually,
town by quite a bit.
That's a really good point. Like, how does everybody feel about lighthouses in general in a game? Are you tired of seeing lighthouses, or you just always want to see a lighthouse? I'm almost tending toward always wanting to see a lighthouse.
How many lighthouses are there in games? You're talking about like these lighthouses.
There's a lighthouse
like
in every game. Every RPG has a lighthouse in the town. If it's a town by the water, there's a lighthouse.
Stardew doesn't have a lighthouse.
What?
Stardew does not have a lighthouse.
All right, well, that's why I threw out, you know, like, what do people feel about lighthouses? You know? I'm actually pro lighthouse. I'm thinking we should put a lighthouse.
I've been clear about how I feel about lighthouses.
Yeah, okay. All right, maybe we put a lighthouse out like as at the edge of the town.
Yeah, Cloudy Bay itself is very nestled in this little like nook. So there wouldn't be a lighthouse there.
In the like by the dock. It would be
Right.
like a farther away from the town.
Right.
Would be a lighthouse. Samo says he's never seen a lighthouse in a game.
Mm-hmm.
And Pokemon doesn't have a lighthouse.
Skyrim has a lighthouse.
Fortnite has a lighthouse.
I think at least one lighthouse.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Fortnite has a lighthouse.
Mm-hmm.
There's plenty of games without lighthouses, so I can think of just.
We just thought like two. I was like, every game has a lighthouse. We thought of two, and then we're like, I guess that's it.
That's it. That's all the lighthouses. No, To the Moon has a lighthouse.
To the Moon. There you go. The whole is central to the story, actually. Okay, here's the deal about lighthouses.
Dear Esther has a lighthouse.
Here's the deal about lighthouses. If they're in a game, they're usually very, very central to the plot. Or if they're in a work of fiction. Like, for instance, Virginia Woolf, To the Lighthouse. The whole story centered on the lighthouse.
Right.
The lighthouse centered on the lighthouse.
But you know what? Like you said, when we leave Cloudy Bay, we want it to still be a thing. We want it to still be happening. So that there could be a whole story at the lighthouse.
You're right.
It's not this story. It's not what we experience in one night.
Maybe we see the lighthouse, but we know there's a story there, but we don't even experience it.
Exactly.
In a weird way, that's kind of cool.
We just see the edges of it, like a liminal space, kind of, you know?
Maybe people like offhandedly mention a few things about the lighthouse or the lighthouse keeper or some weird shit
just
going on.
Just like they mentioned about like the swamp or, you know.
So that's the other thing that we have to realize is that all the characters in our setting are part of that setting and actually talk about the setting, talk about each other.
Yes.
And I think that's the big key.
The characters have to relate to each other.
Right.
Through us.
Right. So
I'm going to go fix the music.
Oh, yeah. I wondered. I was like, something's up.
Yeah. Do you want more coffee? I want more coffee.
Kinda, yeah.
Okay.
Well,
no, just leave that here. I'm going to bring in the coffee pot.
Oh, that sounds good. Well, there'll be a trading area at the bay with boats coming in with fresh fish and stuff. I'm glad you're asking these questions, Sam. So you don't have to apologize for this. This is actually really good questions.
This is a key part of the game.
Yeah, that's what we're actually doing is we're trying to figure this out. Like we don't actually, I just want to make it clear that we don't actually have it totally put together. That's even why we're doing this stream. Yeah, we don't actually know everything about it. We've decided that there'd be a crab thing, and there's obviously a dock. There's a boat dock, a ferry dock.
The whole point, though,
but I don't think it's not a port city. I think the only reason people come to this dock is because they're picking up crabs or they're like delivering groceries.
Let me say something before I go grab coffee. The main point of this game here, the whole idea of it, is that you're there overnight, a night at Cloudy Bay. You're there, you're not from there, you don't have any money on you, and you're there for a night. Yeah. So everything's kind of closed for the night, except for like maybe the bar, and you do see people around. The whole idea is that you're a stranger from out of town, and you're exploring in the night. Yeah, okay. So it has this kind of mysterious quality. You're trying to work out some of your own shit. Right. We're going to have you have a backstory. On your way to this other place. Right. So it's going to be quiet. It's not necessarily like open markets and stuff, but we still want it to feel full. So it's a little bit tricky. Well, here's the other thing. We have to still know what it's like during the day. During the day, do they have a big fish market? I'm going with no. I think that they have like a little fish market. They might have a little fish market. Yeah. There might be a stall for fresh caught fish. There might be like 3 or 4 stalls, you know. How do they get their goods off the island? If they're crabbing, they must be selling crabs. Yes. To some other place. I'm thinking a boat comes by to pick up crabs and they get paid for it somehow. Like for the crabs you bring by. And you're saying is it more like a quiet bay like Scotland?
You know, at first I wanted it to be tropical, but actually I think we're going to kind of meld a lot of different temperate coastal ideas together.
Scotland's kind of like here, except we have more trees.
Yeah, actually Scotland
Weather-wise and
has some really cool landscapes. You're right, maybe not enough trees. So I'm thinking Cloudy Bay has like, it's a pine tree type place. It has pines. It's kind of, I guess climate-wise, kind of like here. I'd say it would rain more. Like Cloudy Bay, it's got rain. It's got clouds a lot of the year. Possibly because of mountains. I haven't really thought about that. I'm thinking about mountains up next to it. And so yeah, it's like that. I don't want it to be Arctic and like, so I'm sort of maybe avoiding like more like northern like Alaska where it's always in snow. But it's definitely more temperate. Maybe they have really nice summers. I think you're here during the end of summer, beginning of fall, so that, you know, it's not raining this evening, but I think it should rain a lot. Obviously, yeah. If it's called Cloudy Bay, then it's called that because there's usually clouds. And I'm guessing that's because of some weather phenomenon, like a big mountain or something, Loren.
the crabbing videos we've been watching are in Oregon, on the Oregon coast.
Right.
So it's kind of a reference point for us.
Could have an NPC with binoculars looking out to sea, and when you talk to him, he starts, what's the squid thing called for your board game? Oh, Tentacleave from Chomp and Stomp. Yeah.
What about Tentacleave?
He could say somebody could be looking out to sea and see Tentacleave. Be like,
Oh my god, that's amazing.
dude, actually, Samos, I'm going to use that. I don't even have to write it down. I'm going to use it. That there should be at least a legend of Tentacleave.
Yes.
There will be a legend. I think maybe that's where we can get like a Bowman type character in too. Maybe he could be like an old fisherman.
I was thinking of the neckers on the...
Yeah, like Bowman's out there like crab necking or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He could tell us about, you know, Tentacleave, the legend. Maybe how he's always been trying to catch it. He goes out in his boat sometimes. It'd be like the white whale or something, you know?
Yeah.
He could be sort of Captain Ahabish too. All right, that might be kind of fun. Yeah, all right, that might be kind of fun. Because I've wanted to put him in there somewhere. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we have to put a little tribute to Bowman in there somewhere. I think that would be cool to do that with Tentacleave too.
I think that's a great idea.
That's actually not a bad idea. All right, that's a good idea, dude. That's a good idea. I'm not going to lie. I like that. Yeah, so we can bring in, you know, you're right. We should be referencing all of we've created all this stuff. Like, we don't have to create stuff from new. We already have created, like, all these stories and things that have happened. I mean, we could just be using some of the stories we have. I think that's a great idea, especially, you know, there'll be a Tentacleave legend, you know, of the giant knife, bladed tentacle octopus of the deep, right? All right. No, I like it. So yeah, I mean, it's that kind of stuff. So yeah, we'll have. So that's what I'm saying is we're going to discover that like as we go along. Like I think, you know, we just have to start with like an idea, a seed, I guess, which is that it's a crab village, that it's cloudy, it's in a temperate zone. They've got some kind of mountain there that's keeping it a rain shadow or whatever, right? Because I really like, I mean, and just artistically, I like those pictures of like little towns at the bottom of a big like mountain, green mountain or whatever.
Yeah, me too. I love
I mean, that just looks cool. So I'm thinking that it's going to be big enough to like, yeah, block the clouds or whatever. Oh yeah, dude, for sure, man. Dogs needing food, it takes priority over world building any day.
Yeah.
I will say that. Yeah, feeding puppies is important. It really is. All right, so I'm liking this. I'm liking the idea that we're going to talk to people. We're going to get an idea. And I think here's the deal. As I create these people, I think I'm going to learn about Cloudy Bay. I'll learn that, like, you know, this or that. I think we just need more people to talk to, and they have to reference each other more. The world does have to be a little bit more full. Right now, I've got the game down, but the world needs a little bit of filling up, you know. Because right now, too, at this point, I will say this on playtesting, Loren's played it 3 times and pretty much explored what there is to explore in Cloudy Bay. And I think that's too fast. There needs to be more stuff in there, just more interactions, more stuff, more things to discover. There's got to be a reason why you'd want to play it again after you finish. And I think right now that's the biggest problem, is that there isn't necessarily a reason to go back too many more times. Like, there's stuff to discover, but like after you discover it, it doesn't necessarily do anything. So I do need the game to be a little more dynamic in that way. And I think that making this setting is going to be part of that, as far as getting it to that level.
Oh yeah, that's what's tough for me. It's like I'm at the point where
welcome back, Samus.
I can go back to Cloudy Bay and play test it and play it again. That's fine with me. I don't have a problem. But I remember everything now. So I'm just going to be like checking to see
what I've done with
what
the
you've
little
done
different
since.
things, right?
Right. I'm not going to be experiencing it fresh.
And that's why it's so important to have playtesters and stuff. So yeah, I'm hoping we can talk to Mystic. The funny part is Mystic.
And if you can't stream it, Samos, if there's any way you could like take a video on your phone
right,
or
yeah.
something, that'd
if
be
you
great.
wanted to help playtest, that would be really great. Yeah, for sure. Because I think I really like your ideas so far too, and I think even after you played it, you'd have even better ones, really. But I like the idea of a dude looking out like for Tentacleave, or you know what I'm saying? That's
that is cute. I like that. I think that's perfect. I do like referencing our own things. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, well, for other people too, though. I mean, obviously, if you can stream it, that's cool because we can be there at the same time. But if you're not into being like on stream or having other people see your videos and just want to send it to us too, that's fine.
Right.
That's totally understandable.
I think that would be.
We want to make it easy for people to playtest,
but it does need to be playtested a little bit. I mean, some of the big weaknesses are just.
We do have to see it.
Yeah, I have to see what the reactions of the person are. Mm-hmm. You know, because you could playtest it and then. Yeah, not necessarily.
Not the reactions. We're not going to see their faces necessarily, right. But we need to see what you do, because you can't be like, I walked over to the barrel and nothing happened. We need to see like I walked by something just by walking around it.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, Samuel said he would try to stream it or record it. All right, cool, man.
Amazing.
Yeah. So,
as soon as it's.
Yeah, having a couple people play test is good. Yeah, that's gonna be great.
As soon as it's in alpha.
In alpha.
We're about to release the alpha.
Yeah, we'll get into alpha here soon. I'm thinking a week
or so,
or maybe 2. I don't know. I've been having a problem, functioning.
We did have a giant snowstorm.
Yeah.
Here, I put up pictures on Discord.
Samos is like, I'll be brutal too. That's what I like though. That's why I like Loren playtesting it too, because it's funny when you're playtesting. I remember playtesting Soul, and when you first end a game and you're like, okay guys, cool, like let's start thinking about like what are your thoughts or whatever, and everybody at first is like, oh yeah, that's good, that's great, because they're not going to say anything bad. It takes but there was always one person who would say something just mildly, I was just wondering if like this could be right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then once they saw that you weren't going to get mad, right? Because I think that people really still think you're going to be mad. And who knows, maybe they've had bad playtest experiences. But once they saw that you weren't going to be mad, then it was like, okay. Then you would hear it. Mm-hmm. Be like, yeah, this actually sucked.
But this is like, you don't even need to be brutal. Like, here's what happened to me.
Right.
I walked into a thing. I wanted to go in a door. Mm-hmm. And I walked up to the door and went in the door, and it wouldn't let me. Right. I didn't need to be brutal about it. It didn't freaking work.
She thought it was a door.
It was not a door.
Because of the way I designed the map.
There's a mini game in there that I was playing, and decided to leave the mini game, finding that I could not. In fact, it was an infinite mini game. Yeah,
and you were never going to be able to leave.
Yeah.
So it's like little things like that I see as being played that like really help. It's going to help make the game into like an actual product that people wouldn't be upset to have paid money for.
Right. But I don't want to have we want to be able to send it to playtesters and not have them get stuck forever in a minigame. Yeah, right, but it might happen. That might very well happen.
Yeah, the problem with doing alpha playtest, there could be a game-breaking thing that you find. I guess that's why they have alpha.
That's why you have an alpha. We want to know what's going to break the game.
But yeah, no holding back for sure, man. No, you got to try to destroy the game. Actually, the weirdest part about playtesting is you try to break it.
I haven't done that yet. I've just been going through it the way I would in a game without just doing it the way I would naturally. And then on the second run, like once we've done it a little bit more, then I'll try to break it.
Sabo says, wow, Loren doesn't even know what a door looks like. I'm on your side, Sean. I know, right? There couldn't be anything wrong with my game, right? It had to be the way Loren was playing it. But see, there you go. Yeah, I mean, right?
I'm an idiot when it comes to doors.
But yeah, you got to let that stuff go when you're playtesting your game. And it is difficult because you're like, you love your game and you put a lot of work into it. And then you find that, somebody just destroys it casually without even trying. And it's a tough thing to take, So I think that's an important part, though, is that you got to do it because your game's going to suck.
Well,
if you don't find that stuff out ahead of time.
Your game sucks. It's just better to find out earlier why rather than later release it and it sucks and you never bothered to find out.
People actually
felt bad about hearing what playtesters said. Then it's never going to be any good.
Right.
So.
And then
your game doesn't suck.
No, I think it's getting better.
It's getting better.
I think
there's parts about it that are broken.
There are parts, yeah. But see, we're just going to increase the fun until it's just fun. We're going to take out the parts that are annoying. We're going to focus more on the parts that are fun.
Yeah.
Until it's just fun.
Until it's just fun.
That's what we did with Soul, and I think it turned out really good. So I'm pretty happy. I think this is going to turn out good too. With that process seems to work. But it also, here's the other thing that it does though. It makes it difficult to put a game out quickly because it is actually hard to get to that point where it's just fun.
What's difficult is that every product you do, you really want it to be great before it leaves your hands. And I understand that. But don't forget what the guy said, the GDC guy said. Mm-hmm. It wasn't the GDC guy. It was the How to Make Money off a Game guy. Your job with game one is to create a moment. That's it.
So if I could do that,
that's your job.
Well, hopefully we can do that. I think that you even had one last time, but I think I need to go a little deeper into that.
Yeah.
Just like your mom.
There were a couple things for me that were memorable.
Right.
I want to increase those things.
Yes.
There's one key thing to me that stands out. I don't want to say it because I want Samos to be able to experience things fresh.
Right.
There's a key thing to me that stands out that I didn't like at the time that maybe later now I'm thinking, you say take out everything that's not fun. But I do think maybe sometimes a little pressure is nice.
Gotcha. Yeah, because that adds to it's true, sometimes the fun is in the struggle, so you really have to be, it's not like you're trying to take struggle away from the player.
I don't want to remove all struggle from the game. I don't want
You're not trying to make it easy. What you're trying to do is make it fun, though.
Right, exactly.
There should be no obstacles in the game that aren't fun to get around. In a way, it's kind of like parkour. It's you're running over obstacles, but that's what makes it fun.
Yes, exactly. So we have to take the struggle aspects and turn them into fun struggles.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's going to be tricky, but...
Well,
and it's also tricky because I want to discuss it here, but I also don't want to give away spoilers for people, but then it also doesn't really super matter yet because it's not done.
No, I don't think it matters. Spoilers matter yet. I think we can be okay about talking about stuff. Although...
I just want to be cautious because I don't want somebody who's not played the game before and about to play test it.
Which is nobody has played the game besides us. Yeah, exactly. You're right. Maybe we should wait till
Samus
there's been a couple play
tests,
right?
And Mystic's going to play it too, so I want them to experience it fresh and not go looking for things necessarily. But I still think we can talk about it in a broader sense.
Yeah, good point.
All
right.
Wow.
That's really good. Nice job.
That turned out great. Ooh, I might be high too.
I know, I'm starting to get there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what else do we want to talk about as far as world building, or is that...
Well, I mean, I guess we've talked a whole lot about the game, real generally, a little bit with world building. What have we built in the world, though?
I think we've talked about sort of more meta stuff about world building.
Oh, maybe the lighthouse.
Yeah, the lighthouse, the guide. I mean, we've put some stuff in there. You know, Tentacleave Legend.
Oh, referencing other things that you've done.
Referencing
I like
other things
that.
we've done.
That's
I mean, I think
true.
we've actually gotten a lot of good stuff out of it.
No, I know we have. I just wanted to reiterate it and kind of go over so I don't forget.
I think we've also gone more and just become more clear that it's sort of a temperate coastal area. It's isolated. It's like in a chain of like, you know, there's like islands. There's like, I mean, there's like a mainland or something. We should make that more clear. I think one other thing is that we should have a map. And we should make a map.
I think a map is nice. I think a map could
A
also
world
really
map.
help us here
Yes.
going forward with all the streams. I think it'd be nice to have a little map in the corner and talk about Cloudy Bay. And it would be a real place then if we had a map up.
Actually, Samus brings up a really good point here that I want to talk about too, which is what do the coins buy? Are there special items? I want to play it fresh. Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. But no, stuff like that you might need to know before getting into it, which is that it's funny. Last playtest, Loren and I were talking about it and decided that each room, each area of the map needs some way to spend your coins and some way to get coins.
Yeah.
There should be no just empty rooms that
No
don't
empty
do anything.
spaces. Yeah, you can either lose coins or gain coins
Somewhere.
everywhere in every room.
Right. So we're going to have that. That's actually going to be more of the work too, which is I have to put ways, you know, there's some places on the map that have ways of gaining and losing coins, but there's some that don't.
Ferry toll for the morning,
Right.
if you want to leave,
It's
which
5
you do,
coins.
it's 5 coins. You have to have 5 coins to get on the ferry.
So by the end of the night, you have to have 5 coins or else you
Now you
lose
can
the game.
gain a lot more than 5 coins in the game. You can lose a lot more than 5 coins in the game. So
Well,
it's
I need
kind
to
of the
figure that
balance of
out,
what you
too.
do over time and have 5 coins left for the ferry.
I need to decide also, that's a really good point. I need to decide how many coins total are available in the environment.
to gain and to lose.
And whether there has to be a limit, and I think there might need to be. I think I'm going to limit it to like 10 coins max. Because the problem is that I have a game in there where you can always gain 1 coin.
Yeah, there's a mini game where you can earn coins.
So theoretically, you could earn infinite coins. Like if the luck went
No,
your
because
way.
of time.
Oh, you're right. Each one costs time.
I think you have to be back at the dock.
Like when the ferry...
You have to be back at the ferry dock on time, or you don't get on the ferry, even if you have all the coins in the world.
Maybe you'll hear the ferry horn and have to go back.
Yeah, and if you don't get back to the ferry...
It'll give you like a few time units, like 5 time units or something. So that,
Yeah.
like if you sit and you dick around going back to the ferry, you lose.
Yeah.
But if you just walk right back to it, you should be fine.
Yeah. But I think the idea is kind of
I like that
the
idea.
pressure of time
Mhm.
and then the balance of spending money and earning money in game.
Right. You know, the other game I was thinking of making, you know, not this game once again, but possibly, you know, doing at some point is having an economy game where, like, for instance, you do go between the islands. Maybe Deathclam Bay, you pick up crabs and drop them off to, Cloudy Bay, and then you go, you know, to Deathclam Bay and drop off crabs and pick up chickens and,
Right.
you know, one of those, like, railroad games or whatever kind of, except it would be a...
I'd like that and it'd be in our world. That's cool.
Is the minigame a Star Trek pinball machine?
No, but I'm wondering if you could do some sort of pinball.
I could at least put maybe a pinball
There's
machine in.
probably a pinball plug-in.
Maybe. I don't know. It's not everything for the, you know, they don't have every plug-in. There was a lot for MV though.
We're thinking about if we get stimulus dollars. We're considering updating to the newest version of RpgMaker.
But it's kind of tough to do that because the reviews on it say that it's not necessarily a whole new version, but kind of an upgrade of this one, right?
Right.
And so I was kind of waiting, hopefully, for the one after this, but why wait even?
Upgrade things we'd be interested in would be like a timer.
Mm-hmm.
What else was there?
There's a lot of stuff. Well, they have a timer. I'm just saying there's there's a lot of UI stuff. Like
Yeah.
menu stuff would be nice if you could have a little more control over that.
But so if anybody knows or has any ideas on that, like leave it in the comments.
Yeah, right.
Because I mean, you're not certain.
No,
we're not certain, but we're considering it.
Right. But yeah, so gee, I can't remember where I was at. So yeah, anyway, there's still a lot to do actually, even on a very small game. And part of the issue with this game is maybe it's not small enough.
We might have to actually take out a room or two.
Maybe.
For now, in order to fill up the world with other stuff, and then game 2 would really be an expansion.
Because I'll be real with you, the guard tower area could literally be that. Those guys could be at a table in the bar.
Yeah.
And I think I maybe have more.
Or they could be, the guard tower itself could be at the market, which would make sense. That the guards would be guarding the market at night.
Yeah.
And then it wouldn't be two separate places.
Why does there need to be a guard tower? Like maybe they're just guys that are playing at the... Does this island get attacked a lot?
I don't know. What are we guarding? The
You
crabs?
wouldn't,
Are we
you
guarding
wouldn't
the
have a
crabs?
guard tower. Actually,
Why the fuck do we have a guard tower in the game?
see,
at
this
all?
is why theme matters, people. Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So these are crabbers who've had a long day of crabbing, and
They're at the bar. They're not guards. They're still assholes.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. Okay.
Wow, that was a big one for me. So I think we're going to cut that part of the map off. I think I'm going to actually shrink the map and make sure there's just more in each place.
Yes.
And more relationships, more
We'll still have those coins.
interaction.
Exactly. It'll just be things sharing on a map. It makes
Right.
sense. Yes. Okay.
Well, I'm
Why do
glad
have
we
guards?
thought about
I'm
that.
so glad you thought of that. That was brilliant.
Oh my
Thank you. Why did we
God.
not know that before? What the hell are they guarding?
We're
guard
used
the
to having,
chickens?
and this is why you need references and why you need theme, because I put a guard tower in the town because RPGs just have a guard tower in the town.
If we hadn't watched crabbing videos,
Right.
we would be having guards guarding a bunch of shit, a bunch of nothing.
A bunch of jellyfish up on the beach.
Jellyfish, yeah.
I mean, so okay, so the theme's really working out for us, and the idea that we have to cut areas of the map and maybe make each one more full.
Once again, working with the environment helps you make these clearer decisions that make sense and support everything. Oh, I'm so glad we're doing that.
Wow. Okay, cool. Anyway, I've really liked this series of videos so far. I'd like to even maybe make it a little bit better by having... once we actually release the game in alpha, I think I'll be able to like have different windows where we could like show pictures of,
I mean, at
what
this
we
point,
have
we don't
and-
need to because we don't have a map. When we have a
Right.
map, we'll put that up, and I'm excited for that.
Actually, what I'll do is maybe even take some
Actually-
screenshots of the way the map is now, and I'll show you, what we did to it. That might be kind of interesting too. Anyway, let us know if there's anything you do want us to talk about as far as RPG content, making RPGs, RpgMaker MV. I'm getting
Or
a
the
lot
new
better
version of
about it.
RpgMaker.
I'm doing a lot of scripting now and stuff. I wish there was more resources for that, honestly. I don't feel like... Here's the thing. I don't feel like most RpgMaker MV people are doing that.
No, I think that's why this was a good place for you to start, because
Yeah.
then when you move on, I think Unity would be more approachable to you.
Yeah, maybe. Can't wait to play. Right, man. I'm glad.
I'm excited for
I'm
you
excited
to
for you to play it too. I think I'm excited about this project. This is the first project I've done that's had, that we've done on stream that I think has had people like, hey, I actually want to play this.
I'm actually excited about this. Yeah, I'm excited about this game because just as somebody who played it, there were
Right.
some unexpected little moments in there.
There were moments.
Oh,
Right.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That I haven't even found in other games.
Right.
I mean, like I said, it was kind of like going on a tour of Sean's head in a way.
Yeah, which is, can be scary.
I'm into it.
Right. Loren likes it, but that's,
I'm weird.
Loren's weird. The labyrinth of Sean's mind. Yeah, that is kind of like what's happening here, and so that's good and bad. Actually, it's interesting. How about that? It's interesting. Anyway, thanks for hanging out today. I think that's gotten us a lot of really good ideas. I'm glad we did this world building. I think that if nothing else, getting rid of the guard tower is huge for like the whole immersion of the town.
How
like,
easy is it to die, by the way, in this game? No, you don't die in this game.
You don't die. You either get beat up. I mean, sorry, I'm not even sure that you can be injured as a status, but I'm not even sure that's going to be kept. But you either
the worst is injured.
You either make it onto the ferry or you don't make it onto the ferry. You don't get enough money and you don't make it, and you disappoint whoever. You don't make it to there.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. The story is still not clear. Maybe that could be next time.
Losing is not making it onto the ferry or not having enough money for the ferry. That's the loss. There's not combat.
Yeah, there's no combat. It's strictly...
At this point, although we're setting it up so that in Game 2, there could be some light combat, like, we're thinking crabs. Thinking you might smash crabs on the beach.
I'm not sure. I think that could be as easy as, like, picking up the fish in RFL. What I'm thinking for... Actually, if I'm going to have an RPG game with combat, I'm almost thinking it would be like... Each encounter would be like a puzzle. Like it would be like Shadow of the Colossus. Like I'm going to have I don't want to have, I've never liked just pointless combat. Like in the same way I want each combat to be super narrative, right?
Yeah, right. Every time we fight, it would mean something. Yeah. I hear you on that. Okay, cool. Anyway,
yeah, thanks for hanging out.
Let us know how you feel about that, though, too. We'll see how it works out in the game.
Yeah, right. Well, I'm glad you're excited to play it. I think it could be super fun.
But as soon as
I think you're gonna like the game.
Get it to you, we will.
Yeah.
But we have to finish. Sean has to finish a couple things.
Yeah. Anyway.
And then we have to get it in file formats and talk to you about it.
So thanks for hanging out. Ooh, eating some pork.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
Fucking weird. Yeah, that sounds great. I'm actually full right now, but we ate fish sticks. Not maybe as good as pork.
I think the pork sounds better, but
hey. All right, hey man, thanks for hanging out. Thanks everybody who's watching.
Good vibes.
If you want to see some particular content or whatever, just let us know. We're happy to talk to you guys, man.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Cheers.